Hi, I'm Rachel Vegas, and you're watching a Current Affairs News. Today, we'll be talking about the 2011 Qantas dispute, where we find out what really caused the infamous lockout. Qantas has grown to be Australia's largest domestic and international airline. We employ over 30,000 people, with approximately 93% of them based within Australia, says Qantas itself. Qantas prides himself on great work ethic and operational reliability. However, on Saturday the 29th of October 2011, Qantas issued a media release announcing that from Monday the 31st of October, it would lock out all licensed engineers, baggage and catering staff, and Australian and international pilots. As a result, at least 80,000 passengers were affected by the 600 flights cancelled and the 7 aircraft grounded. The media then went on to state that Qantas would continue to lock out all relevant parties, the Australian Licensed Aircraft Engineers Association, the Transport Workers Union, and the Australian and International Pilots Union, until they dropped all extreme demands and made negotiation impossible. The series of disputes commenced in late 2010 and continued until early 2012, when Qantas and the unions involved bargained for new enterprise agreements. Industrial relations refers to relations between all parties represented in a workplace, which includes employers, employer associations, employees, unions, and regulatory institutions. Laws are in place both at federal and state levels to guide employers and employees in their understanding of industrial relations issues. These laws are in place of the Fair Work Act 2009, in which Fair Work Australia ordered the termination of the industrial dispute between Qantas. There are several major issues that were recorded and settled during the infamous dispute. In particular, the economy and wages that set for the employees were dealt with in according to the legislation. According to Commonwealth of Australia, commencing in late 2010, AIPA, later followed by ALAEA, and TWU bargained for an increase in wages. Research shows that Qantas pilots were paid $187,000 annually on average. The Australia and International Pilots Association thus wanted all pilots operating Qantas codeshare flights, including Jetstar pilots, to be paid the same. Alongside this, the union aims to stop current Qantas flying from outsourcing and offshoring pilot alternatives. Engineers from the Australian Licensed Engineers Association, on the other hand, were fighting for pay as well as job security. The threat of outsourcing applies to this union as well in regards to the relocation of jobs overseas. Staff wages started at $63,440, with just one license. The maximum wage was $113,516 for staff licensed on numerous aircrafts with several years, up to 20 years, experience. Finally, the Transport Workers Union was fighting for job security of ground staff. This includes security of all existing employee terms, conditions, and wage, a basic rate of $38,000. The union also wanted protection in terms of safety, training, and standards that apply to Qantas staff, as the long-standing aviation security issues were in need of resolution. According to legislation, each of these issues were dealt with several industrial action outbursts amongst each union. However, each exploit was being protected through the Fair Work Act 2009 and Industrial Relations Act 1999. Throughout the dispute, industrial action was taking place under the laws of Industrial Relations Act 1999, whereby in Section 174 and Section 8A clearly states the rules of protected industrial action. Acts such as demands on a percentage increase per annum in wage and allowances, stop work from 1 to 1.5 hours in the afternoon, and refusal of certain duties. AIPA's Qantas pilots made an act that was not sanctioned by the Fair Work Act 2009 and Industrial Relations Act 1999. A breach in legislation occurred when they made an unauthorized announcement on aircraft to its passengers about ongoing strikes. Should Qantas management grant these demands, it is likely that jobs will be destroyed at the airline if all Qantas Group pilots are put on the same pay and conditions. If agreements were made to this claim, it would drive up airfares for customers, including risking the jobs of other employees within Qantas. Despite making high demands, unsanctioned announcements, and industrial action, Qantas finally offered a 3% wage increase per annum, which fortunately led to no employees being compulsory redundant. On top of these issues regarding employee wages, Australia suffered a major impact on the economy during this dispute. On 16 August 2011, Qantas announced its plans to launch a new airline in Asia, moving away from the North Atlantic, which was its original market. It was set to establish Jetstar Japan as a low-cost carrier, along with another carrier based in either Singapore or Kuala Lumpur. After following legislation, on May 26, Fair Work Australia approved the ballot allowing long-distance pilots to vote on taking industrial action for the first time in 45 years. However, strikes against the airline trying to send Qantas pilots' jobs offshore only commenced on July 11th, protected by the Industrial Relations Act 1999, Section 174. In an attempt to sidestep Australian labour laws and aircraft maintenance principles, Qantas tried to base new individuals from offshore means. This would lead to an increase of unemployment rates, where income is being lost as money leaves the country to hire international workers. The airline even announced there would be 1,000 job losses. Stated by Anna Bligh herself, this dispute is now set to have a crippling effect on Queensland and the national economy. It is devastating for our tourism industry. Not only did this impact Qantas and its employees, people around the world were in an environment where Australia's economy was struggling and the dollar was high. Considering these issues, if changes aren't made to the current IR laws, then similar disputes will take place. That very year, the Schweppes industry initiated a lockout of all employees since industrial action was being taken too far over wages and uncompromising negotiations. In acknowledgement of this, industrial laws should thus be amended to avoid great drawn-out disputes. It is suggested that the government should step in earlier to take action with Fair Work Australia. If after 12